Whilst Helen analyses the paint samples in her lab, another important clue about how Turner decorated the house has come from a much less scientific discovery. When one of the builders was clearing the loft space, he stumbled on some Victorian treasures: leaflets, drawings and booklets. Many of them probably not Turner's, but an exciting find nevertheless.
This is a drawing. It looks like a story from the Bible. It looks like a man making a sacrifice. One of them looks like a little poem. They're wonderful papers after such a long time. When I found them, it was a joy. I was pleased, to having found something like this. I know that would be kept for ages to come. I was really pleased with them. I'm so happy that at least I'll be part of the history to have found things like this.
But there was another scrap of paper in the loft that almost certainly did date from Turner's time in the house: a dirty, torn piece of wallpaper. The challenge now is to use this little fragment to create some new wallpaper that can be hung in one of the rooms in the house. The restoration team turned to Robert Weston, who specialises in recreating period wallpaper from original fragments. Clients range from museums to films such as Harry Potter and Home Alone. One of the projects that Robert is working on is based on fragments found under some parquet flooring. Using several differently coloured pieces, Robert must painstakingly work out exactly what the original design looked like, and draw each of the layers line by line. Each of the colours will require a separate drawing, which must precisely line up to the others. It's a long, slow process. But not as much of a challenge as the Turner fragment will be.
Well, this is relatively easy because there's so many large pieces to work from. But the problem is when it comes to something like the Turner fragment, where there's only one tiny little fragment, 13 centimeters square approximately, and having to build up from that, there isn't even enough to get the whole design out of it.
Robert's first step is to make a very high-resolution scan of the wallpaper fragment. The scanned fragment is then transferred to the computer, and the process of developing it into a full design can begin.
All I have is a 13 centimeter square tatty old fragment. It's incredibly dirty. You see, we have a tiny bit of something here, the rest of it's disappeared. I like to use as much as I can of the original to recreate the recreation, rather than having to resort to making up designs.
Based on the design fragments, Robert can fill in the missing elements.
It's taken weeks actually, and it'll even take more weeks to get it done because I like to be as accurate as possible and not just throw it together.
The original fragment has a background of tiny dots called pinpoints, each of which Robert has to recreate.
It takes hours to get all the dots in the right place. It's like Lazarus, I suppose, coming to life again.
Over many hours of careful work, the tiny and dirty fragment found in the attic of Sandicombe Lodge is gradually transformed into a recreation of the 200-year-old wallpaper design that Turner chose to grace the walls of his Twickenham retreat.